We're wrapping up the first round of divisional matchups before heading into the 6-week cross-divisional gauntlet as Hometowns Trivia League rolls on here in week 3. In Division 1, 0-2 Glitterati would take on 2-0 Smartboards as Christian Nyman went from ego to super ego as he led his team in points scored and vaulted himself up the individual leaderboard to bring Smartboards the victory. Final score 16-9. It's a steal.
It's the id.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like,
It's Skin Wars.
15 seconds.
It's
of
Butterfly.
silence.
Butterfly. Sopranos.
Meanwhile, Bear Essentials would take on Southwest Hairlines in our game of the week. In a close game, Bear Essentials would ultimately be swimming upstream after missing the sports question, while Southwest Hairlines would go from Caterpillar to Butterfly. And despite putting the Bear in Camembert with a late game push, Southwest Hairlines would ultimately take the close victory. Final score 14-13.
Okay with that.
Okay, let's do breaststroke. Final answer.
That is incorrect. 15 seconds of steal.
final answer.
It is the Butterfly, and that's a good steal. All right,
Bread Express. Final answer.
that is her, and that is correct.
Wow.
In Division 2, the Purple Penguins would look to stay perfect against Nerd World Order, but it would be the Wrestling Gang that would say H2O no, as another strong Mike Hertigan performance would put the Penguins over the top in a comfortable victory. Final score 11-8.
I was gonna say hydrogen, but I was like, I always felt like I was gonna be an idiot, so I didn't say
Not
it.
put this on the recap. Do not put that on the recap.
Hey, Michael, it's gonna hit the recap.
No.
And I think almost explicitly you saying, "Don't put this on the recap." Yeah, I can actually almost promise you that.
Open the recap with "Don't put this on the
As
recap."
you've been-
You're reading my mind. You're reading my mind.
All right, reveal.
It says 75, yeah.
Colin 75, Sydney 130. The correct answer 150.
That's
Oh,
what
you said.
Sydney
I
said.
said
Wait, you wrote one. Wait,
said
let me
one.
see it. All right, my
Yeah.
apology. That's the win for Purple Penguins, just like that.
Weathermen would take on Vatican City Cardinals. Weathermen would take the bonus round and pull away in the second half. And it was the sunrise on the reaping that led the Weathermen to put a charge into their game on the science question before pulling away with the 16-11 victory.
Great,
Yeah,
Chris.
let's double it.
I know, it's fine.
I want
Yeah,
to
let's
double.
go.
Yeah, we'll double our.
Weathermen are doubling it, which means you get it right. You will
I
win the
hope you
match.
miss it.
Don't miss it. Here we go. In the classic potato battery experiment, which two metals are typically used as electrodes?
It's
Okay.
zinc, right? And copper, right?
Yep, that's exactly it.
That's it.
Yeah,
That
zinc and
is-
Copper and zinc.
Okay. Copper, zinc. That's not an April Fool's joke.
No.
Okay.
Jay
That's what I
knows.
remember.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Don't worry.
Copper and zinc. Final answer.
No April Fool joke here. It is just copper and zinc.
I
Well
can-
done.
I just read
Otherwise,
that.
we
chapter.
all
Yeah,
just
no.
read that. We
I
all
just read that chapter.
In Division 3, Edgewood High School and Pacific Midwest would square off, and despite being without Liv, Pacific wouldn't need to follow the map to victory as they were led by a record-breaking 10-point single-game performance by Kelly, as Pacific Midwest would take their first victory of the season by a final score of 16-7.
Well, this would be my hometown hero at South Carolina.
All right.
Final.
It is South Carolina.
I know this verbatim.
I personally believe
that
U.S. Americans are unable to do so. Some
people out there in our nation
people
don't
out
have
there in
that.
our nation don't have that.
Steal?
Will and Grace.
Or I was gonna say serious because I think it might be serious because of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Texas Two-Step and Sunglass Squad faced off as Tolis led his team with an 8-point performance. Most notably marked by the rare niche category steal, followed by the niche of his own. Sunglass Squad had their foot on the accelerator from question 1 and never looked back. Final score 17-9.
Final answer?
Incorrect. Over to Sunglass Squad for the steal.
Caputo.
Caputo?
Caputo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, How I
How I
Met
Met
Your
Your
Mother Teresa Caputo final.
That is correct. It is Teresa Caputo for the steal.
Scene.
Okay.
In that scene, he first appears like getting his hair done, like he's got his hair in the thingy, so that would be like
Getting ready.
like
Go for it.
getting their hair done? Final?
In Division 4, Beef with a Q takes on Old Ladies. And as I always say, who needs the boys when you have Missy Bird? As Missy starts out the game strong, giving Beef with a Q a lead they never relinquish. Beef with a Q takes this one and stays perfect. Final score 14-9.
Was he Twitter?
Steal.
Is it Finnish?
My gut was Latin or Spanish.
No, I come from a Finnish like town village, and the sonnet is like their
5
big
seconds.
thing. That's all I've got.
All right, finish. Final answer.
Who needs the boys when you have Missy Bird? That is correct. And finally, Identity Thieves faced off with Sims Family Values. In a close first half affair, it would be the bonus round that swung the game in favor of Sims. However, just like that man on death's door, Spencer would look Sims square in the eye and say, just do it, to put the final nail in the coffin of Identity Thieves' attempt at a first victory. Sims Family Values wins it. Final score 17-6. What is the runway category of the first look in the glitter ball?
Banshee Girl Realness.
Yep. Banshee Girl Realness, final answer.
Yeah.
How the fuck do
Wait,
you
who
know
won that
that?
season? I forgot.
Bianca. Megan, thanks, fuck.
Best winner.
I was studying.
Inmates' final words.
Nike, final answer.
It's just
Nike,
isn't it?
Nike, final answer. It's our question.
It's just funny because it was a
Nike,
Family Guy
answer.
clip.
Yeah.
We lost y'all. It's okay.
You all went off to throw it.
I got it right.
It's not your question.
It's their team.
Oh shit! No!